There's a famous seaside place called Blackpool that's noted for fresh air and fun, and Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom went there with young Albert, their son. Grand little lad, young Albert, all dressed in his best, quite a swell. He'd a stick with an horse's head handle, the finest that Woolworths could sell. They didn't think much to the ocean. The waves, they were piddling and small. There were no wrecks and nobody drowned. In fact, nothing to laugh at all. So, seeking for further amusement, they paid and went into the zoo, where they'd lions and tigers and camels, cold ale and sandwiches too. There were one great big lion called Wallace. His face were all covered in scars, and he lay in a somnolent posture with the side of his face to the bars. Now Albert had heard about lions, how they were ferocious and wild. To see Wallace looking so peaceful, well, it didn't seem right to the child. So straightway the brave little fella, not showing a morsel of fear, took his stick with his horse's head handle and stuck it in Wallace's ear. You could tell that the lion didn't like it, for giving a kind of a roll, he pulled Albert inside the cage with him and swallowed the little lad whole. Now Ma, who had seen this occurrence and didn't know what to do next, She hollered, "Yon lions et Albert!" And Pa said, "Here I am, vexed." They complained to an animal keeper, who said, "What a nasty mishap. Are you sure that it's your lad he's eaten?" Pa said, "I'm sure he's his cap." The manager had to be sent for. He came and he said, "What's to do?" Ma said, "Yon lions et Albert, and him in his Sunday best too." Father said, "Right's right, young fella, I think it's a shame and a sin for our son to be ate by a lion, and after we've paid to come in." The manager wanted no trouble. He took out his purse right away, saying, "How much to settle the matter?" Pa said, "Well, what do you usually pay?" But Ma had turned a bit awkward when she thought where her son had gone. She said, "No, someone's got to be summoned." So that was decided upon. They all went down to the police station in front of the magistrate chap. They told him what happened to Albert and proved it by showing his cap. The magistrate gave his opinion that no one was really to blame, and he said that he hoped the Rams Bottoms would have further sons to their name. At this, Mother got proper blazing, and "I thank you, sir, kindly," said she. "What? Waste all our lives raising children to feed ruddy lions, not me."
Thank you for approaching the medieval help desk. Your visit is important to us, but all our operators are unavailable at the moment. You are currently number 1 in a queue of 1. It will help us if you can answer the following questions. Please speak clearly when prompted to do so. Is your query in regard to a recently purchased product or service? Please say yea verily or nay now.
Aye, 'tis so, my liege.
I'm sorry, I did not understand you. Please answer yea verily or nay.
Oh, for heaven's sake, yea verily.
Thank you. Do you have the operating parchment for your product? Please answer yea verily or nay now.
Yea verily.
Hi, Jim, hi. Sorry I'm late. There's a witch burning down in the square and the peasants are all watching. There's another bunch of peasants walking up to the Castle Parador. It's a newfangled U3A lodge. Anyone waiting?
Yes, you have one new messenger.
You've reached the medieval advisor. What is the nature of your inquiry?
Well, my liege is having difficulties with his castle. Got great big thick walls, but every time we get attacked, the arrows are getting through.
That is a major problem with a Windows-based system.
Well, what are we going to do about it?
Well, if the arrows are getting through, there's only one thing to do. Close all windows.
I will inform my liege on my return.
What were the results from yesterday?
Well, the French are getting stuffed, which is good news. Sir Wayne of Rooney has been transferred for 150 groats. It's outrageous. Outrageous. And in the gossip column, the goings on in Camelot cannot be believed. Cannot be believed. But good news, my fantasy battle group is doing rather well.
Thank you for approaching the medieval...
Oh, no, let me through, let me through.
My wit's end here.
Short journey, was it so short journey?
What?
Oh, no.
What's the problem?
I know. Pause for effect. What exactly is your problem?
Sheep. I'm feeding them, I'm caring for them, I'm tending to them. There's no lambs, the flock's not getting any bigger.
Well, that sounds like a ram problem. Upgrade your ram.
me, well, thank you.
Oh, get out. Get out.
Good night last night?
Not bad, Jim, you?
Yeah, me and the lads went quaffing and carousing. We tried some of that new takeaway that came back from the Crusades. It was very nice. But after an hour, you wanted another one.
Yeah, that food is very Moorish.
Have you checked your tree mail this morning?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Tree mail. Tree mail. Ah, the Archbishop again. He's having trouble with his baptisms. He's way too high above the water. Way too high above the water. You know, and he can't reach. You know what the problem is? He's got a font problem. I'm going to tell his Grace to upgrade his Arial font. You've reached the medieval advisor. What is the nature of your inquiry?
Well, the Baron is having problems on his estate. The serfs are refusing to work.
This sounds like a server problem. I think you must tell the Baron to soft boot the system and then reboot and reboot and reboot again until they're working.
Thank you. I will tell him on my return. Are you expecting a fox? There's one stuck in your cat flap.
Damn! The fox is jammed again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The fox. Thanks, fox. Ah, it seems to be from a chap who wants to create a new prayer book. He wants to create a new prayer book, but he can't access his printer. I shall tell him to use the new Monk's Illuminator Series 3. It's a bit slow, but the graphics are excellent. You have reached the medieval advisor again. What is the nature of your problem?
Prithee, sir, I crave a boon.
Oh, no. We campaign for clear English here. No technical jargon.
Well, sir, I've taken to counting me money outside of late, and when I put the coins on the table, they all running off and getting lost in the grass.
That's an easy one. That's an easy one. If you've got a problem with your finances, you must use a spreadsheet.
It is right and proper that I crave your indulgence.
Yes. That's all.
You have a new tree mail.
Finally, it's arrived. What do you think the hold-up was? I think they're waiting for the leaves to fall. Anyway, this is another tree mail. Not like this one, this is a bigger tree. A tree mail. Can't remember what's in it now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's from the Black Prince himself. It's like Black Prince himself. He's besieging Calais and he's having trouble with his trebuchet.
What's a trebuchet?
A trebuchet is a siege catapult with a long arm.
Oh yeah. I read about them in my siege engine. I bet he needs a faster pendulum processor.
Are you trying to put me out of a job? Trying to put me out of a job? I'll reply to the Prince later. Oh dear. Not you again. Weren't you here yesterday? Weren't you here yesterday?
Yes, sir. Yes.
You were. Let me guess. You've forgotten your password and you can't access your fortress. How many times have I told you to use something memorable? Let me ask you some security questions. What is your date of birth? Oh, all right, skip that one. What is your mother's maiden name?
Marion.
not the maid, Marion.
No, but my mum and dad were big fans of Robin.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to reset your password. Your password was 1. It is now 2. I shall alert the gate guard so they can let you in. Now, do you think you can remember that?
I think so, sir. Thank you very kindly.
Well. We'll see him again soon, you know.
Oh, yeah.
What's the sundial say, Jim?
The shadow is at 2 stones past the stick.
I think I'm going to shut up early then. I'm going to go back to the king and the castle because some idiot has let a wooden horse in and it's infected the whole place with plague.
The old Trojan horse trick, eh?
Yes, it's the old Trojan horse trick, yeah it is. There's only one thing for it. We'll have to drain the moat, fill it with oil, light it up, and then there is nothing like a decent firewall to save you from... Nothing like a decent firewall to protect you from viruses.
If I was not in the U3A, something else I'd like to be. If I was not in the U3A, a carol singer me, you'd hear me all day long, singing out my song. Press the doorbell, sing my carol, thank you for the cash. Press the doorbell, sing my carol, thank you for the cash.
If I were not in U3A, someone else I'd like to be. If I were not in U3A, a turkey plucker me. Hear me all day long, singing out this song. Grab that turkey, pluck its feathers, hang it in the shop. Grab that turkey, pluck its feathers, hang it in the shop.
Press the doorbell, sing my carol, thank you for the cash. Press the doorbell, sing my carol, thank you for the cash.
If I were not in the U3A, someone else I'd like to be. If I were not in the U3A, a window dresser me, you'd hear me all day long, singing out this song. Spray the artificial snow and make the toys look nice. Spray the artificial snow and make the toys look nice. Spray the
Doorbell, sing my carol, thank you for the cash. Press the doorbell, sing my carol, thank you for the cash.
If I were not in the U3A, someone else I'd like to be. If I were not in the U3A, an innkeeper I'd be. You'd hear me all day long, singing out this song. You're here late, we've got no room, just stables round the back. You're here late, we've got no room, just stables round the back.
If I were not in the U3A, someone else I'd like to be. If I were not in the U3A, a tree fairy I'd be all day long, singing out this song.
Wave by one to grant dreams come true. Wave by one to grant make your dreams come true. Wave by one. Wave by one to grant their stables come true.
wise man I would be. You'd hear me all day long, singing out my song. Travelled far to see the babe, and I'm giving out some gifts. I travelled far to see the babe, bringing out some gifts. I've travelled far to see the stable, and travelled to see the princess.
We are gathered here today on this beautiful winter's morning to pay our last respects to Thomas Fairclough, Richard Mason and Harold Walker, Tom, Dick and Harry, as they were known to all of us. 3 stout members of our community who will be sorely missed. Tom, sadly, was blind, an affliction he bore with great fortitude, especially considering he was also deaf. His only power was that of speech and song, and we all recall his enormous voice joining lustily in our hymn singing. Of course, being blind and deaf, Tom never actually knew what hymns we were singing. Which seemed appropriate because we didn't know what hymns he was singing either. In fact, if we were to be perfectly honest with each other, Tom didn't actually know any hymns. So it is with deep gratitude that we recall the day when Colonel Grant, using only the sense of touch through the medium of a clenched fist, finally broke through to Tom and got him to shut up. Needing guidance through the darkness of life, Tom was lucky to have a friend like Dick. Dick had perfect eyesight and would gladly lead Tom wherever Tom wanted to go. Unfortunately, since Dick was also deaf, he couldn't actually hear where Tom wanted to go. But like Tom, Dick never complained about his afflictions, did he? Well, he couldn't. He was dumb. But blessed with the gift of vision, though stone deaf, he was a tremendous fan of Lady Gaga. Being such an idiosyncratic pair, deaf to the world about them, Tom and Dick would have the permanent companionship of Harry. Harry could literally hear a pin drop, although being blind and dumb, he couldn't see to pick it up, nor warn anyone else not to stand on it. So as individuals they were sadly afflicted, but together they were in possession of all of God's senses, weren't they? And so it is together that we remember them, together at their job checking eggs at the farm. Dick would look for the cracks, Tom would complain to the foreman, and Harry would do the listening to Bay Radio. Likewise in the evening, when they returned from work, they would all sit on the big red couch, Dick watching the television, Harry listening to the television, and Tom insisting it was time to buy a television. Sadly, 3 days ago, their peaceful lives were ended. Dick saw the combine harvester. Harry heard the combine harvester, but neither could cry out. Tom, who could have cried out, never had the faintest idea what hit him. And so they were all harvested together, blended into a oneness at last, and now we trust that they are in heaven, as happy as any in that immortal host. For Dick will see the angels' choir, Harry will hear the angels' choir, and no doubt Tom will ruin it for everybody.
Can I tell you who I am? I'm Pamela Patricia, but they call me Pam. I don't like shorts or sling-back shoes, and my only pair of trousers are my gardening trews. I don't say who, I do say whom. I never use a toilet, it's the smallest room. I don't like spicy foreign meals, and I don't like men in lycra who are on two wheels. I got engaged in 72, got married in April in a nice pale blue. It all turned sour to say the least. I was stuck in Abergele with the sex-crazed beast. Our wedding night, I heard a cough. It was Harold in the doorway with his pyjamas off. Now look, I said I must be blunt. I couldn't give a beggar on the whole sex front. Not me, not my scene. I prefer a game of rummy and an Ovaltine. Harold, dear, do get dressed. I'd seen one in a book and I was not impressed. Once divorced, I lived alone, then chummed up with a woman by the name of Joan. She moved in, she seemed quite nice, wore army boots and braces, but I didn't think twice. Then
upset. I said, are you not happy in my maisonette? She drained her rum and baby sham, ran her fingers through her crew cut, said, I love you, Pam. I didn't faint, I didn't scream, just carried on demolishing a custard cream. She said, won't you come upstairs with me, and I'll show you just how wonderful a love can be. I said, all right, but don't be late. There's a thing by Alan Bennett on at 8:30. So up she goes and off we went, but the only thing that happened was my specs got bent. Not me, not how I feel. I prefer a cup of coffee and a wagon wheel. Joe, dear, do get dressed. No woman over 40 suits a mauve string vest. Then last year, to beat the blues, I booked myself a cabin on a 10-day cruise. So much to do, so much to see, and loads of single women who look just like me. Then one night, I clicked like that with a bachelor called Billy in a golfing hat. We were happy, hand in hand, listening to a lecture on the prostate gland. I told him sex had been no-go, but he took it as a challenge and we went below. We hugged and kissed without delay. Then he tried to take my rain hood off. I said, no way. He said, I'll bet you 10 whole pounds, pound, that you will have an orgasm while I'm around. He got stuck in, he really tried, but I only felt a tremor down my left hand side. Not me, that's my boast. I prefer a bit of ironing and a round of toast. Bill, dear, do get dressed, but he just fell over groaning as he clutched his chest. It was that sort of sound. Bill was dead, he died for me. They took him on a stretcher as I drank my tea. But as I poured another cup, I thought I'd never had that orgasm. I'm 10 quid up.
Cast. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Big bow. Well done, everybody. And Roger, and Wendy, and Richard.
It's my life, it's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live when I'm alive. It's my life, my heart is like an open highway. Like Frankie said, I did it my way. I just wanna live when I'm alive. It's my life, yes, now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live when I'm alive. It's my life, my heart is like an open highway. Like Frankie said, I did it my way. I just wanna live when I'm alive. It's my life.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting us here today. That song was It's My Life by Bon Jovi, American band. It was released in May 2000, and it's probably one of their best known hits, and it's been performed almost every time they perform, and I have to say it is when we do it too. Thank you very much for inviting us. In the last few weeks we've performed at Javea U3A, at Denia U3A, so the pinnacle of the course is coming The next song is from 1983 and it's said to be one of the best love songs of all time. Are you ready, gentlemen? Sitting looking at your loved one. It's the second single by the American songwriter Cyndi Lauper. And she began writing this song after having just got the title, having watched a television programme called Time After Time.
Of you, oh.
this was a song that was made popular because it featured in a television programme called Grey's Anatomy. It was also, some of you will remember, the last performance ever performed live on Top of the Pops, and it's called Chasing Cars, a completely different change of tempo. Another Christmas song for you. Does anybody remember Brenda Lee? Yes. Thought you might. We're going to be rocking around the Christmas tree, and again, if you fancy some of the song words and you want to sing in with it, you are very welcome. join in with this one too. You've had a warm-up now, so you've got plenty of... You can't say, oh, I haven't sung this morning, because you haven't. So I'm listening out for you. Jingle Bell Rock, which I'm sure you all know exceedingly well.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bell ring. Snowing and blowing on bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chiming, jingle bell rhyme. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time to go riding on a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, bring up your feet, jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle in the jingling beat, that's the Jingle Bell Rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell chime, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, bring up your feet, jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle in the jingling beat, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the Jingle Bell Rock. All around me, children playing, having fun. It's the season, love and understanding. Merry Christmas, everyone. Time for parties and celebrations. People dancing all night long. Time for presents and exchanging kisses. Time for singing Christmas songs. We're gonna have a party tonight. We're gonna find that girl underneath the mistletoe with
The rain